It's recording.
Oh, okay, cool. So talk about the Death of Robin Hood movie. Do a quick review on that, I guess. So did you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
That's,
Yeah. I really didn't know what to make of this movie. When it came out, it was hard to tell. The whole premise and everything. But going in, I think the first thing that struck me that I liked was just how dark and bleak it was.
yeah,
Uh, I like the the grittiness of it and the mood and tone. I really enjoyed. Um, I think overall, it was a very well done movie. Um, with just some maybe a little setback towards the end of the movie where I think we could have had another little action set piece or another battle towards the end of the movie, but
yeah.
overall I really enjoyed it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I'm the same. Same. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of movies recently I've watched which I just haven't enjoyed at all. um, I kind of avoided the movie for a little bit because obviously the title, "The Death of Robin Hood," that kind of just like, oh, that's the movie then. So, um,
Yeah, trailers didn't give too much information about the movie, if I recall.
yeah. So I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting much.
Right.
So, as you say, it's really dark, bleak.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there's going to be spoilers, obviously, in this video.
Yeah.
But I love to start when the woman's. I mean, you don't know she's a woman at first, but she's obviously looking for someone, and she's going up the hills and discovers a guy by the fire, right? And then,
Right.
long story short, he ends up killing her. So it starts off like quite brutal because obviously
Yeah.
he stabs her in the side of the head, and her eyes go this way. Um,
Yeah.
so the tone was set pretty early. So yeah, I enjoyed the way it was going, and then the kind of mystery of is, well, for me anyway, maybe other people who watched it, I was like, is this Robin Hood? Is this not? Basically, the majority of the movie for me, till he met the leper. Um, so yeah, it was super good. Enjoyed the darkness. I enjoyed the whole fight scene. So obviously he meets Little John, and then they go to the village.
Yeah.
Because Little John says this is his family, and the whole red-haired woman and stuff to go get his family back, and obviously it goes wrong. Family ends up getting, or she ends up getting killed, and then the boy runs away, and then one of the most brutal, I think you called it one of the most brutal arrow shots when the boy's running away and the arrow just like pops through the back of his head for his eye. It
Yeah.
rolls into the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was gross. And then even when the boy's like wandering through the village and he's just mumbling to himself.
Right.
I just love the script and everything, and they have the whole funeral for the boy, and then his uncle. I'm not entirely sure the Viking guy's relationship to the boy.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm not sure either. Yeah.
I thought that Viking character was super cool, and I would like to see more of him in the movie,
Right.
like a bit more
Yeah.
build up
Yeah.
to it, maybe. But obviously, they have Hugh Jackman, who's obviously playing Robin Hood, wakes up and the house is on fire, and he ends up having a fight with
Yeah.
one of the guys from the village, and then that's really brutal with the whole knife through the hand.
Yeah.
And it splits open. That was gross. But yeah, it's all like, obviously I've never been in that situation, but it's just a bit more realistic fight scenes. Like it's not, oh, Hugh
Right.
Jackman's Robin Hood and he just whoops the guy and he
Right.
doesn't get injured. Like he gets battered.
Yeah.
By the Viking, and then so Little John pops up behind him and kills him. But yeah, enjoyed the movie, the whole build up, and then obviously Robin Hood has to recover, goes through all of that. stuff. It's a little island, I guess he ends up at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I found it all very, as you say, there's not too much action after that, or barely any.
Right.
And I'm trying to think after that, after that fight scene. Yeah, it's just him recovering, and for me, as I said, like I still wasn't sure if he was Robin Hood or not till obviously he meets the leper. Was it a sanctuary he ends up at?
Yeah, it was some kind of a sanctuary, right? Yeah. For people to go to get healed at. But like you mentioned, I actually kind of would have liked that to be somewhat of a twist in the movie, though. If he actually wasn't, and maybe the leopard character was maybe Robin Hood. I think that would have just been a nice little twist, to add to it. Yeah, I think we've had like more mature versions of Robin Hood movies in the past, but I think this is definitely the darkest that they've made it. And going back to the fight scene where they're in the mud rolling around, this isn't the movie where he's killing 100 people with arrows. He's down in the mud and muck fighting, and they're scratching and crawling at each other to fight. And those were really well done. And like you mentioned, they're very believable. But yeah, once the movie kind of shifts over, so he ends up getting quite injured, in that whole fight scene.
Yeah.
And then he's then taken to this island, like you said, is some sort of a sanctuary. And the movie kind of goes into a more of like a philosophical tone, if perhaps in a way, but it wasn't too artsy. It was still quite interesting how it was done. Like his interactions with the woman, his interaction with his daughter, actually, who then ends up showing up, or the daughter of Little John, actually.
Yeah.
Teaching her how to make a bow and all. So it was actually quite interesting. But yeah, I think, and the movie almost sets it up as if, there's going to be this one last battle. Because there's like this, almost this sense of danger that might come to the island.
Yeah.
And it never actually does come. I personally would have preferred if that did happen, and then we could have got the whole dramatic death after that. But because they didn't take that route, the way they handled it, I think, was probably the best way possible. If they didn't want to end on a battle scene, so I still give it credit for the direction that it went. But overall, it was a very interesting movie, and I wouldn't mind having movies like this with other characters.
Yeah.
I can't think of any characters off the top of my head right now, but sort of like a an after story of these kinds of characters. I guess you could come up with all kinds, but those kinds of movies would be interesting, I think.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. I just, like it's almost like you could have made it like a 2-part movie, or I know it's the death of Robin Hood, but like maybe he didn't need to quite die, part 1 or something, even like say like the girl, she was an interesting character where she comes through the village and she just stabbed another girl. So the psychology of her, because she saw her mother get murdered. And then you've got the little John character who I loved, and how kind of psychotic and messed up his head was. Who obviously we Googled because we didn't know who it was, but it's the guy who played It in the It movies. But then obviously that makes sense. His whole smile and it kind of demeanor. I think it would have been nice to see a fight scene, because obviously he talks to the boy on the beach, and
Right.
you're kind of half waiting, thinking like his side's going to come running out of the bushes or something
Something was
big's
going
going
to
to
happen.
happen. But obviously, he
Yeah.
just kind of threatens the boy, and he, walks off, which
Yeah.
was nice in a way too. But then you kind of,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a battle too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Yeah.
Just
Again, could
because
have
of
made
how,
it too far.
yeah, just because of how good it was done, right? How well what brutality there was, how well it was done. I would just like to have seen more. Again, going back to the era of the kid getting shot, it was just like awesome how that was done, how it was shot, and then the fighting in the mud. It's just like, and it didn't, it wasn't, it didn't require like all of these, like those huge performances to do these fight scenes either.
Yeah.
They probably could have just, you know, like had a, no, they didn't need to do a scene like an all-out war or anything like that. But for sure, I think the movie would have been well off to have, ended on with some kind of little fight, whether it was a one-on-one or, something. I think the movie would have just been more well off if we had one more at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I enjoyed it so much, as I say, because I just watched a bunch of bad movies
Yeah.
before that, and it's kind of, the movies kind of just take, like we've discussed, but like it reminds you kind of like a Braveheart or
Yeah, exactly. Right.
back late 90s type movies where it's just more simplified and down in
Right.
down in the dirt, in the forests and stuff. The actual how the movie was made and designs, costumes, everything, like the leper was really cool.
Yeah, he was super cool character. I love the guy, how he was portraying him too. He had even, had the cool outfit on. He was just really cool. Like I kind of wish, like we even got more of him too. But yeah, it was it was a very, very well made movie. Despite the
dialogue was really good. I enjoyed the dialogue. Like when the leper's asking him, like Robin Hood's trying to get information out of him and ask him stuff, and then he's like, "Do you remember the trees?" And then he has to list the trees that are in the garden. It's very good,
right?
Kind of thing, I just loved the whole dialogue they had.
Right.
Yeah. It's the ending for me was, it was kind of a surprise. But you kind of see it coming at the same time.
Right.
In a way. Obviously, spoiler that he dies. Obviously, the woman he meets is the woman, like he killed her family basically.
Right.
So he opts to die by losing blood.
Yeah.
She cuts his arm, and that's how he dies. But even her descriptions, like how he killed the family and how the husband was basically in the corner protecting the kids, and he was just like in a ball basically. It was like it was like very simple dialogue or whatever they had, but it was just like very vivid, like you could imagine it. Like, oh, that's gross.
So the movie was playing on. Okay, so the legend tells of Robin Hood being this good person doing good for the poor, right? The old saying, steal from the rich, give to the poor. But the movie kind of makes it ambiguous, right? Like you don't know, if he really was. Yeah. Or, and for how much good he may have done, there was a lot of bad that he did as well, So the movie's kind of like, going through those themes as well, which was interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like the consequences of war or something. It's like you're trying to do something good, but
exactly
this comes along with. It was super interesting how they took the story. It's nothing like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So I didn't expect any of that. And then because I was just trying to find some information about it, so I googled it before, wondering like, is Robin Hood the tales true? And they're not. They're kind of based on the court, and they used to call people who stole or whatever like Robin Hood, or
Right.
they had different names. But apparently, that now I used AI. It said that there was like a 17th century poem apparently about Robin Hood being more dark and similar to the actual movie, but Hollywood turned him in more into a still from the rich give to the poor type character. So
Right.
I'm gonna have a bit more of a look into that later. But I can imagine some people aren't happy with the ending anyway of the movie. But for me, it was nice. It was nice.
It was fitting, I thought too. Yeah.
I think Hugh Jackman in it was really good. The way he looked and everything, and physicality.
Yeah.
But yeah, my only gripe was his accent. Being British, he was going in and out of. I'm not American, obviously, but he suddenly sounded American, then he sounded Australian, then he sounded almost British. So it didn't ruin the movie by any means for me. It's just kind of strange.
No, as an American, I was hearing like southern country slang almost. So it was very noticeable. You know, again, it didn't ruin it, but yeah, it was definitely noticeable.
Yeah. Okay. So overall, it's a good movie. Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
And if whoever's watching this hasn't watched it, we've just spoiled it for you. But but out of 10, I'd probably give it. The more I thought about it when I first watched it, I was like, 9 out of 10 for me. But I'd probably go in at about 8 out of 10, just because, like you say, the extra fight scene would have been nice, and you wouldn't have ruined the movie. You could have kept the whole story, right? Just like an extra fight scene. And you said before, like, you don't see Little John die, right?
True. We could have got another
seeing that
scene.
would have been good.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 for me.
You know, I'm gonna say the same. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10 too. This is definitely, you know, I guess what you'd consider an indie movie, and this is you know, an indie movie done right. You know, I wouldn't have minded watching this at the theater either. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so again, I'll give it an 8, and then my points are just taken off because, again, like, we could have got that extra scene of Little John dying, and then we could have got an extra little fight scene at the end there, and those are my 2 points that I'm going to take off. So I'm going to give it an 8 as well.
Okay, cool. All right, I guess on to the next one. If you're watching this, like and subscribe. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.